Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 518, and today we're doing battle with Yuumi Gnar. And so how about that? We're in our second video of the Fates Voyage Beyond, not even playing any of the new champions. And while I feel a bit unfortunate in that sense, these new cards do synergize very well with Yuumi, and I have been incredibly impressed with the usage of Dark Binding and Lisa and Dolly, and so I feel like there's enough new stuff in it to be interesting, and I'm pretty excited to bring this deck forward. And so it is quite similar. I guess at a upper level view, an aerial view of the deck, if you will, to the Targon based overwhelms that Rico Rex would kind of suggest. And what that deck was really looking to do was be a Sharesies deck. And so you could play Omen Hawk on turn 1. Then on turn 3, you could either put a Yuumi or you could put a Bone Club onto your Omen Hawk. And then a couple of turns later, you could look to Sharesies either the Yuumi or the equipment away onto something else, something more relevant, ideally something with Overwhelm, and get a big and powerful combat that way. But one of the problems I always had with the deck is it didn't have the components that really synergized well. And so you could play the Omen Hawk on turn 1, draw a 2-drop that you want to play, and now you have to decide, do I want to play my 2-drop with the stat bonus, or do I want to play this Bone Club on turn 3? And so that would always be kind of awkward. And then kind of in the same vein, you would play Omen Hawk, and that doesn't edit the stats on your Bone Club, or you would play Weapon Master's Apprentice, and that doesn't edit the stats on your Yuumi. It was just very easy for it to get these awkward draws to where you drew your equipment boosting, but you didn't draw equipment, and then you had Sharesies, but you didn't have any attaches. It was very powerful when things went right, but it wasn't that great when things went wrong. But with the addition of the new cards here in the Fates Voyage Beyond, I feel like we're really getting to a place that's kind of special in terms of what the unit boosting is able to do. And so it does have the classic standby in it with the Omen Hawk and the Yuumi, but we're including Esmuth in this space now as well as a way to boost a unit on board and boost a unit in hand. But we do have the biggest and one of the most controversial cards out of the new set, the Snow Dog, giving us an additional way to boost the size of the units within our deck. And what I really like about this kind of combo is we play the Omen Hawk, we play the Snow Dog, we attack with it, we've got +2/+2 on our units on top of our deck. But if one of those units manages to be Yuumi, Yuumi is able to spread those stats out over multiple turns. And so typically the stat bonus gets applied, the unit goes away, it dies, you lose out on those stats. But if our Yuumi has +2/+2, she attaches, gives the unit +4/+4. The opponent casts Vengeance on our sweet Yuumi unit. Then we get to play Yuumi again as a +4/+4. And so she still gets very incredibly strong synergies from the bonuses that we get from the Omen Hawk, from the Esmuth, and from the Snow Dog. Coming out of the new set, we have a great addition to this kind of theme in the Ruby-Eyed Conjurer. If we play the Conjurer and give Yuumi Spell Shield, or if we give Yuumi Overwhelm, she keeps that ability and then keeps delivering it onto the other units. So if we play the Ruby-Eyed Conjurer on 2, put Overwhelm onto Yuumi, then on turn 3 we put Yuumi back down on the Conjurer. It's now an Overwhelm unit generating all of those stats turn after turn. Very powerful ability as well, as we look to come out and cast things like Battle Fury and Wild Claw's Ferocity. If you're giving that unit Spell Shield, makes it much more challenging to take down, makes you feel much safer in these turns to where you're trying to get a big OTK off of a Battle Fury. The other piece of the new cards to come down and talk about are going to be Dark Binding and then Lisa and Dolly. I've been very, very impressed with both of these in terms of just being gigantically strong tempo plays. And so with Lisa and Dolly, it's in that very same space to where if we play either an Esmuth or an Omen Hawk or a Snow Dog on turn 2, and then manage to turn Lisa and Dolly into a 3/4, having this 3/4 that curses your opponent's strongest unit just gives you a massive, massive tempo bonus, because now your opponent's best shot at answering the Lisa and Dolly has been removed from the board until they spend 2 mana, and then they have to decide, do I want to just kind of give up on my good unit so that I can play more expensive plays on the next turn, or do I want to try and bring back the unit that has just been cursed? And so it's a very powerful collection of things that you can do with Lisa and Dolly. It's a unit that plays fantastically on turn 3 if it's been given stat bonuses, but it carries a lot of value into turn 6 and turn 7. So when your opponent taps out to play Mordekaiser on turn 7 and you drop Lisa and Dolly, it's not a permanent answer for sure, but it should buy you a bit of time to get your attackers out and running before the Mordekaiser can come in and slam. Same kind of deal applies to the Dark Binding, but the stun effects always play extra strong within the Overwhelm's decks, given that you can stun a unit out of combat and then have the Overwhelm damage carry through. So if we attack with our 5/4 Glacial Saurion, opponent blocks with a 5/5 unit, we typically wouldn't deal any damage, but if we stun that unit out of combat, the Glacial Saurion gets to crash in for the full collection of damage now. And so it's kind of an interesting mix of things that the Dark Binding can do in this deck. It can shut down an opponent's attack. You can get the shackles down if you're trying to, say, open attack on the next turn and prevent a unit from blocking. And then you do have these options of protecting a unit in combat or trying to crash through additional Overwhelm damage. And so that's the deck. Again, I feel like it's different enough from the decks that we've seen in the past to really kind of come out and warrant some investigation. I like the Ruby-Dyed Conjure and the things that it does with Yuumi, along with the bonuses that we get from the Snow Dog, and then the Curse package out of the Binding and the Lisa and Dolly. Very interesting and strong stuff. And so that's it. That's the deck we're doing battle with today. But before the battles begin, you know what we got to do. We got to come out and pay that pay-to-win price. And where are you at, Snow Dog? You're the one that we're going to boost. And I think I feel pretty spot on with the Space of the Snow Dog. It's a very, very powerful card. It's a very strong card, but I don't think that there's any existing decks that were really super excited to be playing the Snow Dog, right? I don't think Ash LeBlanc really wants it. It doesn't fit into too many of the themes there. I didn't feel like Jax Ornn really wanted it. I didn't think any of the decks that were kind of out and about really wanted it, but I knew that something was going to come about like this, or something coming about maybe involving Nico that would really make you want to play the Snow Dog in a new way. But all right, reasonable enough start up against the dumb Elder Dragon deck. We should be in pretty good shape here at the beginning. Kicking things off with the Pouty Poro into the Esmuth into the Yuumi, having these curve draws against the ramp deck is just incredibly strong. I saw a Kaido talking about the ramp decks, and it was like they need to change, which he's 100% spot on about, in the sense that it feels like if your opponent plays about 2 cards before the 4th turn of the game, then the game is just over. And so interesting to see people starting to add in the Snow Dogs. I've seen some Omen Hawks running around. It's not completely alone these days anymore, but this should be a fairly good round for us. We can get the stat bonus onto the Poro. Even if he has a Sky Splitter, then we're going to be not dying in these combats, and then ideally we're going to be out here just outright winning. All right, not bad. So he hasn't got to do any ramp stuff. He'll be able to this turn if he wants. Right, he's up to 6 mana at this point, but not the worst start in the world for us. Now, this is kind of an interesting space in, how much do we care about flipping this Gnar, right? If we really want to get the Gnar flipped this turn, then we probably need to play Esmuth and play the projectile thing, but I don't think it's super important in this round, so let's just go ahead and add in the Gnar. There's a pretty good chance that he just doesn't have a blocker here as well, and so I think that's okay. Man, he's been getting the hard shutdowns on our units this game. This has been awkward as shit. We didn't get to attack with our Poro on 2. We didn't get to attack with the Esmuth here. He's just getting the shutdowns everywhere. But let's see if we can't turn the corner here a little bit. As long as we aren't dealing with the turtle, then we should still be in pretty good shape on this board. That's a big profit. So how much do we care? We can look to say go for a stun this turn, but we still have very good attacks next turn, being able to hook in the Prophet wherever we want. We can still maybe stun the Prophet out of combat. We have a lot of good choices for this next turn. Yeah, he's got another ramp. So if he's got the turtle, we're gonna be hurting. And then if he doesn't have the turtle, I'm fine to play into Volibear or whatever he's going to try and hit us with. All right, here comes the squad. No need to play cards now. We're pretty close to the lethal as it is. I want to see if he adds anything else to the board. It's probably worth just trying to punch in for the lethal now. So if he at least has to come in and play a Harsh Winds or something, then he's not getting... he's not going to be getting to play units this turn. So let's drop the Dark Binding onto the Volibear's Prophet. Then we can look to cast a couple copies of Yuumi's... Oh shit, are we gonna be short on that? We're 1 mana short? Is what it is, I guess. We can deal like 2 damage with the projectiles, right? Give 1 unit a bonus and then take off 2 stats on another one, but we're gonna be short of the lethal otherwise. Bummer. So we may still be able to beat a turtle. But again, god damn it, this card's so dumb. But again, all the other cards are fine. Alright, turtle comes in, he gets deathless, that's whatever. Yeah, we're just 1 mana short of the lethal there. This is exactly what I was worried about, right? If we can make him spend the mana so that he doesn't get the turtle on board and stuff, then that gives us the spot to where, you know, he can't get rolling until next turn. But now, gotta deal with this dumb shit.
Mama told me to stay away from strangers.
But we can still potentially fight through here. We've got Esmith in hand as a way to attack around a little bit. We can still maybe find some positive combats if we're wider on board than he is. Might get to pull something off. So Elder Dragon comes in. He made a bunch of stuff happen. That's fine. I think the thing that we'll be looking for here is him, like, say, Elder Dragon hooking into the Pouty Poro, and then we get Yuumi back. And then maybe we can put Yuumi onto Esmith. That's the one I'm very curious with here. He's going for it.
The storm breaks all.
Okay.
Peace is a fool's promise.
So let's see. We just need to not die here. Shouldn't have to worry about any damage-based cards coming out of his hand, so we'll just put the 1 block forward. And then, yeah, we're going to go for Esmith, and then we'll replay Yuumi. Has the chance to get us close enough. Are any of these Yuumis, like, big boosted? No. That's a bummer.
We're off on a new adventure.
Alright, Volibear flips. Good deal.
I am the doom of all.
Alright, Tellstones is another potential way to get the finish here. Let's see how we do.
Your idols will crumble.
So we unfortunately don't have any stuns to fight through on this board. I'd feel much better if we actually had a stun to throw in front of some of this stuff, but not quite the case. This is not a good block here. He puts his lower health unit in front of our Overwhelm. Alright, let's see where that gets us. We can also look to hush the Volibear's Prophet and see how close that gets us as well. As it stands right now, I think this is an okay way to go about it. We're leaving him at 1 short. If he does dragon stuff, they all go on the stack though, right? Like if he just gives up anyways. Okay. And say like, well, he can't play another Elder Dragon, so it would have been okay there. The thing I was worried about is he plays a Titanic or whatever they're called, and then he gets the heal, so he goes up to 3 and we can't kill him with Pokestick. But he already had Dragon on board, so he's not going to get the completely full board of Dragon tokens so that you can't add the thing to the stack. But man, what a dumb fucking card that turtle is. That's been... it just adds such a high roll aspect to these games. Like he could have played like literally any of the Titanic cards in that space. Like Volibear didn't care, Dragon didn't care. Like the vast majority of his deck we just absolutely do not care about. But him being able to play that one unit and then get like 17 mana out of it across the course of 2 turns, it's just so obnoxious. Alright though, we got our Pouty Poro start though. We know we know how to party, we know how to bring the thunder. This is what it's about. The Pouty Poro start. Feels good. We gonna get avalanched? Wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, it wouldn't feel good, but definitely feel better with the chime landing on the Ruthless Raider. So now if he does avalanche, our Raider doesn't die. So this was going to be a spot to where if he does go for the avalanche, we're good. If he doesn't have it, then we're like, or if he plays a 2/2 here, then we're still good in that space as well. But no ramp, I like it. Can ramp this turn if he wants, but we can still fight through. So what are the chances we don't want to open attack here? Like, I just envision this as we get the Ruthless Raider on board, he plays some kind of blocker, and then we're able to just stun the blocker out of combat. It's not immediately coming to mind what other slows they would be playing. It is kind of hard to have a second avalanche here. Okay, let's add it in. That's tough. Like, I need a touch more of experience with the format before I feel really good about what's happening right there. Alright, Escalia comes in. Double impact, sure thing. So we definitely get our attacks in this round. He'll block something and we'll bring in the stun. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh man, did we just mess this up? That's not what I wanted at all. I mean, the Hush is good, but I wanted to get the big stun. Get the big damage play in, you know? Nothing wrong with getting a big damage play in. But I guess this is okay. I guess this gets the job done. I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, we don't want him untapping with Escalia on board, and so maybe that works out better. Saying Thousand Tailed isn't going to do it. What you got? Challenger? How much of a bummer is that? He's going to take down one of our Overwhelms. It's fine. I think it's probably okay just to pass. Like, he almost certainly has to make this attack here. But, man, I wonder if we can still win the game if he just, like, passes there and then has Harsh Winds on this turn. That's an extremely tough board for us to ever come back from. All right. Taking down another dumb ramp deck feels good. Feels good. This is why I didn't want to play. It's tough. Like, I want to come out and play the new card or the new champions. Everyone wants to see the new champions, but like the win rate for this deck doesn't seem that good. Or against the ramp deck doesn't seem that good. Assuming that people have decided that we're going to play cards that cost less than 5 mana, right? Anytime, it just feels like anytime you come out here with a curve, you completely annihilate this deck, and that's what we've been doing game after game after game here. But like once people kind of get sorted with it, the curve's going to come down. But like this is just like such a problem for trying to play Mordekaiser, right? And so the question is, do we want to come out here and just like play? This would be our third ramp mirror match. Or do we want to just play something a little different? And I just kind of want to let the format settle down a little bit. Like it's just so bad for Mordekaiser, though. Like, Mordekaiser cannot beat these decks. Like, I feel like the only way Mordekaiser is relevant is being like a piece of the puzzle that the deck just doesn't want. And so it's like he's... I thought we were going to be attacking here. This is my bad. Let's see if we can't fix this real quick. Should have played Esmith last turn and then the 2 units this turn, but... We'll fix it. But no, it's like trying to play Mordekaiser against this dumb deck is terrible. It's like so many of the champions in the game just don't exist at this point. But what you got, Duder? Doesn't seem like you have anything. It seems like he's going to spend 3 mana on a Sigil and get blasted by a Pouty Poro. Maybe he's thinking about avalanching our board where it doesn't kill anything. so many primo options out of this deck, huh? So many.
This was your fate. I will see you fail.
Probably want to save that block for a later turn. Get in front of a bigger damage bro. Alright, not bad. We'll go ahead and drop the Pouty. It's a reasonable target this turn to drop a Yuumi onto, but I want to just keep being as mana efficient as we can. So I'm not opposed to just adding Gnar this turn and then playing Yuumi Esmith next turn. So how bad is this? He's up to 2. He'll be at 5 mana next turn, so he can play a 7. I'm leaning towards just playing Gnar, Esmith, Yuumi, and just saying, here's my units, have fun. I think that's okay. So I'm gonna lead off with the Yuumi. If he does come in with an avalanche here, I want to help ensure that the Pouty Poro survives. He's one of the more important units that we have at this space, given that he actually has Overwhelm. Right? That's not something the Snowdog can do, not something the Gnar can do. Have to be able to punch in the damage somewhere. He's got a dog of his own. So let's do this. I think the Esmith is okay. It does give us another elusive unit. It gives us additional stat boosts for the turn. I think this is good. And then if he wants to trade his dog for our dog, I'm good with that. This is it just feels like another space to where he just needs to be preventing all the damage, and he's not preventing anything. Sure. Yeah. you got the snow dog still. But right, that doesn't strike me as the path to victory. Giving up the block on the previous turn with the Volibear thing, and this turn taking a protective block with the Snow Dog. This deck doesn't care about that stuff, right? This cares about just not dying as long as you can. And, like, taking a play there to where he still took the 4 damage off the Pouty just so he can not attack this turn with Snow Dog, doesn't strike me as the optimal angle. We're about to blast. Check this out. 6/4 Ruthless Raider ready to party. I'm ready to party. I hope you're ready to party. We've been partying hard out here these games, playing against dumb ramp decks over and over again. Thinking on it hard. He says, what is this guy doing? He's played units on curve the entirety of the game. People aren't supposed to do that. We're supposed to we're supposed to just come out here and cast a bunch of ramp spells. But see, here's a prime example of what I really enjoy with this addition of the Dark Binding. If we want, we could just stun the Volibear this turn, right? So that he just can't block next turn. But we're in a pretty safe space here. I'm just going to add our big units to the board, and then we'll look to take the stun for damage next turn. Okay, got me to 12. Take it. This is another terrible attack. Like, just not disrespectful for the opponent. I feel kind of bad when I say stuff in that way. But if we have a Sky Splitter and block his board here, it's just a pure disaster. Like, I know that he comes back, but he comes back with 1 health, and all of our units have Overwhelm.
Leave nothing standing.
All right, here comes the squad. See if he's going to deliver a second Harsh Winds. We're still close even if he has it. We probably should have put this Esmuth boost onto something else. Like, we're not really punching in extra damage this way. Well, I guess we are. The Raider was already above the Snow Dog's health. Alright, 3 sisters. That's expensive. I did the mathematics on that one. Let's see if that's enough. Do you got a second? Do you got another way? Emotes seem to indicate he's got something. Does not. GG. Alright, good stuff. On to the next one. Feels good, my dudes. You put the stats on the board, and then you attack. You put the stats on the board, and then you attack again. That's the way. It's the way it's meant to be in the world of card gaming, right? Not out here just casting spells and stuff. Just putting our Overwhelms on the board, getting to business. Oof, good stuff though. We've gotten to hit on a lot of the concepts that I like in this deck. All right, now to the other end of the spectrum. We've seen we've seen the ramp deck. Now let's play the deck that's not the ramp deck, right? And so as far as this goes, Esmuth tends to be pretty bad in this match. Just can't do anything. And so I'm going to get rid of Esmuth and look for a 2/3 or an Omen Hawk or something. It's just, as you're out here playing against Zed Gwen, you don't want to play a unit that can't be defensive. So the Esmuth just not really designed for this match. Now here I'm fine to go ahead and take a trade with the Shadow Apprentice. That's who we're blocking 99% of the time, and if we get a chance to make him a little less awkward, I think that's okay. So we should probably just drop the Hawk now. Our units in hand aren't really prime targets for the Conjurer, but the Conjurer is the unit that we would like to lose more, right? We would prefer to have this Omen Hawk for a later turn if he's got a Green Glade Duo or if he's got another Shadow Apprentice. Being able to block those can be pretty important, but we have a Tellstones to help a little bit, but it's not exactly how I wanted that to roll.
Fight or die.
I am the blade in the darkness.
All right, let's see if we don't just get him with the Lisa and Dolly next turn. This is one of these spaces to where they play Gwen, and then they go, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. LOL.
Okay, Dolly.
No, thank you. No, thank you on that attack. Give me the tempo, please. Oh, my gosh, this guy's all about it. Oh, no, I thought we were going to be able to... I guess we can Tellstones down the Zed. Forgot that Hallowed bonus was going to land on him.
Leave us alone.
But right, this is the kind of beauty of Lily and Dolly, Lisa and Dolly, whatever this unit's called, to where if you imagine it being a 3/4 in that space, if one of our Omen Hawks had landed on it, and now we're able to come out here and like really get in front of that Zed and still have the takedown on Gwen, and if he wants to use Gwen, he has to spend a bunch of mana. Like, it's all around pretty positive. But now on this board, how do we want to do this? I'm leaning towards just going huge with one unit, like getting the Ruthless Raider on board and then just dropping Yuumi on it so that we have the 8 power Overwhelm. Otherwise, we could take a more like value-based approach with the Conjurer and putting Spell Shield onto Yuumi and then, or Overwhelm onto Yuumi, then re-equipping her. But I don't think the game's going to last that long.
Where'd we end up this time, book?
So you just say, no vengeances, please. I don't want to see a vengeance. You don't want to see a vengeance. I know he doesn't have the mana for it right now, but that would be a bit of a bummer for our Ruthless Raider.
The Winter's Claw.
All right, now we have a delightfully large blocker for this Gwen, should we want to take it.
Without a sound. Only the worthy survive.
So he's only got 3 mana behind. How bad could this be? So if he's got a... what's it called? 8 spike. 3 damage is probably the one that we're worried about, but this is still a safe block, right? So Gwen is going to deal 3, Hate Spike would deal 2, so our Raider would get to survive that one. So that feels good. Let's put a block in front of Zed. Now this is where things are a bit of a bummer. We're probably just going to have to give up on this guy. It's like if he's got a +2/+2 and then we just die, that's a... Well, I think that's... No, that's not okay. He's not... I have Overwhelms on my brain. And so I was going to say, well, maybe it's okay if he plays a +2/+2 and then we Pale Cascade out of it, but that's not the way that combat works whatsoever. Probably should have gone ahead and just played the Pale Cascade. The thing that's a problem here is if he has the stage hand, right? I guess we don't... There's 2 pieces to that, though, right? If he had the stage hand, he would have just played it and killed us. And so I think we can take it a little slower and not worry about it. But like, we're not going to beat the stage hand on this turn anyways, so let's just not bother. Dragon Ambush. Okay. So let's see. We're gonna play a Prowling Projectile. That's 100% happening. So we'll deal 1 to the big one. We want to put our tough unit in front of the other one to help prevent a point of damage. And then I guess we're good now to... I guess it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, huh? In the sense that if he's got the +2/+2, he gets to kill our Glacial Saurion. But if we don't block with Saurion and he has it, then he just gets to kill us. And so I don't want to die. It's gonna ruin my day if that happens. And so we'll take it this angle. He's thinking on the answer here pretty hard. I have to imagine if he has any kind of interactivity, then we're just dead. Not a lot we can do about that, but we've developed a nice space here that is oh, what would he have that he pulled back? Huh. That's weird. Okay, I guess we won that game somehow. What card do they have in hand that they just pull back there, though? He puts 1 forward and pulls it back. Like, if you have the ephemeral thing, you get to force the strike from the unit in combat and kill it. Maybe it was like a Zed Shadow Shift. That could have been a thing. Anyways, we won it. Go us. Good job. Feels good. Glad to win a game, you know. Let's see what we can face now. Is it going to be the Annie Jhin and the Annie Jhin Zed end of the world, or are we going to be back in the ramp end of the world? What do we got? It's the Annie Jhin section. Thank you. It's got to be one or the other, right? There's no in between. But all right, in this match, I like to have as many cheap plays as we can. It does not like it if you have these curves to where you play like an Omen Hawk and block their Saboteur, then you play a Snow Dog and get another good block, and so
I have my orders.
the Snow Dog is fine, but we need to try and find our other cheaper plays. I would have slammed a Pouty Poro on that turn just to take the trade. But if he's not going to add units and just open attack, it should get us in a space to deploy Esmuth. A little dangerous. If he's got the stun bird for the turn, we don't get good attacks, but I think it's okay. We're not losing out on a ton. Now we have a pretty interactive hand here with some big boys ready to block and the Pale Cascades and stuff. I think it's okay.
Suffering is the beating heart of drama.
Did Annie Jen get anything out of the new set? There has to be a bunch of play abilities. I know like all the dragons have play abilities and stuff.
I will give them a show to remember.
Okay.
Take your place, and our show will begin.
So what else does this do? He doesn't deal damage to our... Deal 2 to all stunned enemies. Alright, well you fought hard, Esmuth. you didn't do much this game, but you definitely fought hard. I'll give you that. Oh, and he no attacks? Wow. Wow, that gets the bust wow of the day. Well, here comes the squad. Plenty of combat tricks to go around. If he wants to take his only viable Jhin block into the dog, we can give it +3/+3 off of the Tellstones. Otherwise, we just win all of these combats. Like, this is feeling pretty beautiful.
From your canvas, art.
Sure. You zinged my Overwhelm unit. But I feel like we're getting the better end of this exchange. Not quite certain how Annie Jen recovers out of this. Like double stagehand would be kind of scary, but you'd be essentially out of cards at that point.
Everyone here is so cool.
Alright, stat bonuses abound. The stagehand is fine. We can just put Omen Hawk in front of it. We still have a blocker for every unit that they have on board. I'm good with this. Uh-oh, it's going to be a Pirouette. Pirouette would be the most problematic card at this point. Takes us down to 2 blockers. We'd still only take 6 damage, fall to 7, and he has 1 card in hand. I think that feels safe.
I go willingly.
Doesn't attack with Mana Soul. I'll take it. Look at the size of that Gnar. +6/+6, my dude. He's ready for combat. Alright, where are we at? We're at 9. You gotta feel pretty safe at 9. I don't think Lisa and Dolly are gonna get the opportunity to shine here. That's some bullshit. Well, we'll at least take the block away. We're kind of far away from getting a lethal off of the Saurion, and so I don't think saving up for a wallop onto his blocker is actually going to do anything.
from?
We're just coming out here and blasting in for lethal anyways. Now he's got a block in front of Gnar. Maybe we would have been close enough. I don't know. That 3 mana is so cheap with Elisa and Dolly, though. We got to be safe at this point, I think. If he wants to make a bite play, we have the Hush, we have the Wallop. It's kind of tough to have enough burn at this point. I think we're good.
The bite doesn't hurt, but the venom sure does.
Alright, GG. That did it. That was enough. Good stuff. Well played. Let's get ourselves one more battle in. Not bad. Not bad collection of games. Taking down a victory or two. Sometimes I forget I know how to do that. Forget that you can win a game on occasion. Oof. Hope y'all are having good days out there. We haven't talked football in a long time. We got a Chiefs shirt. It's a good time to do it right now. I'm sure everyone is aware. Worldwide, everyone has to know. Kansas City Chiefs own Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift, and like right at the beginning of their relationship, he was working a mustache, right? And it's a challenging feature to pull off, right? Rocking the mustache isn't something that just anyone can do. But out here in Kansas City, apparently it's enough. Everyone that is aware of Travis Kelce's existence is aware of the mustache, and they kind of feel like that they're capable of pulling it off as well. And it's just not the case. It's not the case. And I was telling one of my buddies, I was like, these people just look like pedos. It looks like a bunch of pedos just running around, and they've got their Travis Kelce mustache and stuff. I'm just kind of like, ugh. Come on, guys, you're not finding your Taylor this way. And so, just feels like a bit of a struggle for him. All right, though, let's get this Esmith up and running now. Our mana this game is like a touch awkward in that I want to get the Overwhelm onto Yuumi and then drop Yuumi somewhere a little bit more relevant, but hasn't quite fallen as a possibility. So what do we got? Lisa and Dolly with the bonus, Snow Dog with a bonus. All right, let's just put everything on the board and then attack, right? That's... What the fuck is this thing? Stormbringer. All right. I guess there's a new card on the block we're supposed to be playing around. I guess this game's probably done. I guess this one's done. See if we still can't take it down. He hasn't ramped, and so he's still got a few more turns before he can do anything scary. But... That wasn't on my radar of greed. Could have played that a little bit differently if we were expecting more than avalanches. All right, Escalia comes in. What do you got? Double Challenger.
Magic is way more fun than school.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to open. What else are we gonna do here? I guess we have to open.
I'm not just a kid.
We getting harsh winded too? Not yet. Not yet, he says. It still feels like one of those spots to where if, like, his play next turn is something like Volibear, then we still have reasonable chances of taking this game down.
Fight or die.
But if he comes in with, like, the turtle, then we just kind of auto-lose. And so we'll see how it plays out. It's a very important turn to see how much mana spend he makes, in the sense that we currently can't attack with this stuff because of our curse, and if he's not going to bank next turn and then just play another giant dude, then we do have an opportunity to get another good Lisa and Dolly. Yeah, I think this one's probably out of reach. Okay, GG. So I don't know, like, if we had, I haven't played around Avalanche, or I've only been playing around Avalanche. If I'd considered that there was another spell we needed to play towards, I would have got to get my head wrapped around it. That is the kind of space, like, the thing that's been rolling through my head over the course of the past day is, like, when am I gonna get hit with Buried in Ice? And it just never hits. You know, like, no, people, like, here's how all of these decks look. All of these Elder Dragon decks. That's just the 6 ramp spells, and then the Sigil spell, and then maybe the Sigil unit, and then after that they play 3 copies of Avalanche because that's enough to beat aggro, and then they're playing like 18 giant units. And as things kind of progress, like, I don't know who posted a more recent deck list that started to involve Omen Hawks and Snow Dogs. That doesn't cut it. That's not enough. Like, I can get behind the Snow Dog in the sense that it's a 2/3. Like, I really enjoy 2/3s. They're so especially strong, but that's just been kind of like the Band-Aid fix somebody tried to figure out, and it's not good enough. And so I do like seeing the opponent come in with the Titanic removal spell, because these ramp decks have to be doing something. Like, Kaido is spot on playing against these dumb things, as to where, it really feels like if you play 2 or 3 cards against them before the 5th turn of the game, then they just fold over and lose. And so, I don't know, I guess they're just playing a bunch of ramped mirror matches against each other, and it doesn't apply that often. But yeah, we're going to have to start to consider over the course of the next few days really kind of dropping down. But nonetheless, as far as this deck goes, I've been quite happy with all of it. Esmuth is what appears to be the weak link to me, and it's something that, as time progresses, it's the kind of thing that you're going to look to probably shave out of the deck, because it does have those kind of problem places, right? To where if you're playing against Red Gwen, it just can't do anything, and if you're playing against Zed Gwen, it just can't do anything. And so that is kind of the weak point, but I really like so much of what's going on with this, with the Omen Hawk and the Esmuth and the Snow Dog and the Sarion all boosting your units, that ideal unit being Yuumi. Then you're able to put Yuumi down on an Overwhelm, get the big attacks in. If that unit dies, you don't lose all of the stats. And then Yuumi also being able to get spell shields and Overwhelms off of this Ruby-Eyed Conjurer. And so I think that this is something that really has the chance to kind of come in and pop off. It is going to be a matter of, kind of tweaking the numbers. I probably want more Battle Furies or more Wildclaw Ferocity, right? Wildclaw Ferocity, if you're not familiar, if your unit has been granted stats or granted abilities, it keeps them as it flips. And so if your unit has +3/+3 from Omen Hawks and it has Spell Shield from the Ruby-Eyed Conjurer, then as the Wildclaw flips, it keeps all that stuff. And so there's probably space in here for more Ferocities, maybe another Battle Fury, and then Esmuth is the unit that I'm looking to pull out of this for something that's just a little bit more effective. But I think this is a pretty good start right from the get-go. You can see the power of things like Lisa and Dolly and the Dark Binding in terms of, like, playing against that Gwen deck, right, and just getting the shutdown on Gwen. Like, stuff like that is what can really take over against aggro decks, and then the Dark Binding playing well on defense, playing well on offense with Overwhelms. I just like all of the synergies that are really coming about and running around with this thing. Good stuff. I like it. It gets the bust seal of approval. And so, there you have it. That is going to do it for us today. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bustin' We. Thank you for being here.